Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we will be covering about the type of variables which we have in Jenkins. Now mostly there are two types. One are assigned with the specific Jenkins build and one which are declared globally. So without getting any delay, let's get started. So as you can see here, I have my Jenkins server up and running. Before starting, let me walk through that why we require these parameter, and the simplest answer is that there are tons of operations which we do while building some step that includes that we required the build URL, or let's say we want the build number to utilize a unique number every single time. Sometime we are building some artifact URL that needs to be attached in some reporting tool, so we might require that URL at that time. And the another one which is global type, those might be required for storing some common values, let's say product version or some other things. For example, let's say there is a product version that will be used in multiple build steps, so you can declare it globally so that you do not have to update the same in every single job. Getting to the variable part, let me create a new job first. Let me hit this plus button here, and from here I can create a new job. If you want to learn more about the Jenkins job creation and overview, there will be a video hanging over somewhere here or here in the I button, so feel free to check that out. Let's say variable job, and here I have my job ready. Now to see the list of available variables which we have by default in Jenkins job, you can scroll down, or you can either click on this build steps, and here you can here you have to add a step for the build. In our case it will be executing shell because I'm using Linux. If you are using Windows, then it will be a batch. And in both the scenarios you will be having this option to see the list of available variables. So as you click here, you see these are the bunch of parameters which Jenkins already has as soon as it starts a build. Now there are so many variables like branch name, the SCM branch name, then it has the if the branch is primary, true or false value, and here you have a short description written already with the variable name which job will be having. So for the simplest purpose, let me scroll a little down and check these parameters. Let's say build number. It basically means that what is the number of the build that is executing uh, at the moment. It is quite similar but just with a timestamp. Then we have the display name, that is like #1, #2. We can even change that, so it will be like stored in this variable. Then the job base name, then the job name and all those things. Then the Jenkins home, the Jenkins URL, and so on. As of now, let us try to display a few variable in the console. Let's take build number, and again for printing variable in shell we have to use echo and dollar to specify that there is a variable which is coming. And then let's say build ID, then let's say job name. Now let's take build URL and let's say job URL. I have added all these variables. Now let me save the changes and let me build the project. As we can see, it has executed the build. Now let's check the console of the same. As we hit the console, you can see that it is starting the execution. Let me open the build step and console side by side. Here as you can see, in the first we are printing the build number, which is 1 in this case. Then we are displaying the build ID, which is also 1. I mean, we are not adding any timestamp, so it's not displaying that. Then we have job name, which is variable underscore job. It is getting printed plain here. Then we have the build URL, it is displaying that. Then we have the job URL and it is displaying that as well. These are pretty useful when we are referring to this job artifact either in a mail or somewhere in post steps or anywhere. Now this is all about the variables of a Jenkins job. Now let's talk about the global variable which we can define. To define a global variable, you have to go to the Jenkins, then you have to look for the dashboard, or you can go to manage Jenkins and you have to look for system. And in the system, if you scroll a little down in the global properties, you will see there is this option named as environment variable. As you check this option, it will ask you to pass a key pair as in the parameter name and the parameter value, and that can be done by clicking this add button. So let's add a variable here. Let's say product version. Again, feel free to use the question mark as a help every time when it's required. So I have given the parameter name as product version, and the value will be, let's say, 1.1. Now value is not supposed to be a number, it can be anything. Let me save the changes. Now let me go back to the variable job and add the same in the build step. Now let me print it here and let me print the product version here. Let me save the changes, let me build it, and let's check the console of second build console. And here you see it is getting the product version from the global variable section. Let's say there are 10 jobs running to test a specific version of a product, so you do not have to change the product version every single time in every job. You just have to update that in the global section. So that can be a use of the same. And yes, that's pretty much about how can you use variables which are dynamic and form while building the job. And you can also define your own variables globally that can be accessible in any job with Jenkins server is running. So if you like the video, feel free to share it with your friends. Do subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.